Hello and welcome to another episode of Andy's Shed Live. This is series 12, episode number 2 for Sunday the 15th of January 2023. Hello there everybody and welcome to the show. We are with you live and direct again on this Sunday evening. Not quite as scheduled, not quite as planned this week because we've had a few technical issues and stuff, and I was hoping that we were going to be able to bring you some stuff from my visit to Andrew in Wales this week. But guess what? The format the video is in isn't acceptable into the streaming software, so I've got to convert it, which is going to take hours and hours and hours. So next week we'll be showing you what happened on my visit to go and see Andrew out there in Wales, hopefully. Right, just having a look who is in the old chat at the moment. It seems that Wesley's here, Dominic's here, Penfold's here, Miguet's here, and Gambo's here as well. Hello there everybody, welcome to the show. If you're watching us live on YouTube, or if you're watching us after the event on YouTube, or maybe even on Library, hello. And remember, if you're not live, then you can still interact with us by leaving comments in the comment thing wherever it happens to be on the platform that you are watching us on. Right, cool. We'll crack on then, shall we? For today. As I say, it's not gone terribly according to plan today, and I've been messing about. I needed magnets earlier on today, so the only way I could get a magnet as strong as I wanted was to take apart an old scrap disk drive that I've got. So that is what I've been up to today, taking apart an old disk drive, which has come quite far apart, but not maybe as far apart as you might like it to have come. But yeah, so there's the remains of the disk drive. Why did I want a magnet, you ask yourself? I was trying to get open an old miner's lamp, an old miner's safety lamp, and they have a kind of magnetic lock on them. Magnet didn't work, but guess what? I just gave it a bit of a tweak with a screwdriver and it came open, and I found that it had been the lock had been broken in the past, so it would just open. It was just a bit stiff, so I put a screwdriver behind it and it opened anyway. So yeah, I was trying to get a lamp going, inspired by the repair shop last week when they restored a miner's lamp on there, and I suddenly remembered I've got one here that's been kind of sat on the hearth for ages and ages and ages and ages, years and years and years, and we've never been able to open it. And I thought, I want to open it because I want to actually put some paraffin in it and see if we can get it going. So I opened it and I found that it's not got enough wick in it, and we need a new wick for it. So yeah, need a wick for the miner's lamp. So that is why I have a scrap disk drive sat here on the desk, which isn't going to be on the desk longer. In fact, it's going over there for a minute. There we go. Right, what's everybody been up to this week? Have you all had a good week, everybody? I assume you have. It's been fairly quiet in terms of arrivals here this week. Nothing new has really arrived this week, but we have got things that came the other week. Yes, we have got stuff that's been here for a while. You may remember the other week that we had this on. This is that strange 746 telephone, that 746T that we had on the other week. I've still got no more information on this. If anybody knows anything about the 746T telephone, then get in touch with us. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do by filling in the contact us form on the website, which is here, andyshed.corepress.net. You'll find a contact us form on there, or you can get in touch with us via the forum. gpotelephones.proboards.com is the site for the old forum there. So yeah, cracky. Yes. So it's been a funny old week. I've not really got into the swing of things after Christmas yet. I've got one or two sort of things half done and stuff. We did the other way. I don't know if I showed you these or not, but the other day. Well, we got these. These have arrived. What these are a bit unusual. These are Pi dials. Now, I restored a Pi telephone a while ago that had one of these on, and it was a hellish thing to restore because part of the dial was seized up, and I'd got absolutely no spare parts for one of these at all. So I had to unseize the seized up bit, and what was seized up was all this mechanism here. Now, I don't know if I can turn these, because it's not got a finger wheel on, but yeah, I can. But it doesn't work at all like a normal GPO dial. But these are Pi, I think of Pi, fitted to Pi's own clones of 706s and possibly 746s as well. And dial is totally different to anything that the GPO had in the way it works. It's similar in some ways to some American and European dials, but really alien if you're used to GPO stuff. And as I say, all this stack was all gummed up in the one that I restored a while back. So I got these two. I found these two. Now the one I restored a while back, I believe, was ivory, and we've got a green one and what looks like it's a grey one here as well. So we know they were available in at least those three colours. But yeah, they are quite unusual, and you'll note the different finger stop on them as well, the curvy finger stop as opposed to the one on a dial 21 that's got a kind of a straight edge to it. But yeah, so a couple of Pi dials there arrived. Does this one work as well? I'll try and turn it, even though I ain't got a finger wheel on it. You might be able to see what happens on the back if I can turn it. And the pulses are done by this wheel here, this weird shaped wheel going between those contacts there. It's a most bizarre thing. But they are Pi dials. Oh yeah, as used by Pi. So something a bit different there. Probably never find another Pi telephone to fit onto, but there you go. That is those. I also got in a couple of phones that had been used as intercoms, and this is one of them. I don't quite know what had happened to these, whether they actually had been used as an intercom. I did have a wiring diagram for them as an intercom, or whether they've been used as some sort of stage prop. But the idea is to put these back to being telephones, back to being ordinary telephones, but it may take a little bit of doing. But I bought them mainly because one of them was this black one, and it's got an original dial surround on it, an original finger wheel, and by the looks of things, and everything. So we're going to have a look inside this one and see what it's like. It says Ericsson dial. No, it was a Pi dial. It was made by Pi. Those dials, and were fitted to Pi telephones. Pi spelt P-Y-E, of course. But that's where they came from. Well, I have seen similar sorts of things, although not entirely the same, on some Ericsson phones. Right, just getting a screwdriver. Just getting a screwdriver because it's that time again where we have to do it this way around. Sorry, I can't do it the other way around. Put that under there to try and flip the centre out of here. That's it, got it. And it's not gone all over the floor, which they often do. Though I don't get this, it says phone in line 2 on this little label. I don't get what that's all about, but underneath it is another label that's like 3D printed, not 3D printed rather, but home printed, and it says GWR on it, so somebody has messed with this immensely. So there is the phone, and now we need to, I'll do it sideways on so you can see. We need to remove the finger wheel to make it easy. And the little clip goes on there. Then we can undo these, and now I should be able to lift off the back of this, and there we go, and there you can see the internals of it. And that's what we've got now. I think I did actually show you this particular phone the other week, but I've basically put it together as best I can with the bits I've got sort of available to me at the moment, ready for use. So it should restore this one. There's nothing really massively missing on it, so it should, when I add some more screws into these terminals here, which I've got some spares upstairs, that should all restore up quite nicely. So no major problem there for the restoration process. We'll have a look in the handset. We've got a normal transmitter, and a normal 4T receiver, Mark 1965. There you go, there you see it there. marked up as 1965. I have no reason to believe it's not. So that's that. So that appears to be all good. So that should be good for restoration work. So I will, for now, put it all back together. Remembering we're going to need a few bits, mainly terminal strip screws and possibly some of the little jumper things, but although it had been turned into an intercom, it's not been messed with too much, so whether it ever worked as an intercom or not, I don't know. Hang on, what have I done wrong? You've not put the clip on. This little clippy thing that goes on there like that. There we go, and that goes back on there. That goes in there. And we just need some bits to get that one ready. I'm going to put them back in for now. Don't really want to save them, but I'll stick them back in there for now. So that's one that's going to be sorted. Now I want to show you some of the other things we sometimes have to deal with. And with that phone came this, and you'll go, oh, a red 746, isn't that nice? Well, it's not actually a red 746. It's actually a grey 746. This one that somebody has painted. Came in the same batch as that black one I've just shown you, and just look at the state of this. It's a grey phone. It's got a later cap on there. I'll take that off. You'll see it's grey on the inside. But what's this? It's got a somewhat unusual receiver. Very unusual. And look, they've even got red gloss paint on the contacts on there. Unbelievable. But strangely, it does work. But that's a very unusual unit that I can't say that I've seen one like that before. Does anybody know anything about that? Because I can't say I've seen one of those before like that. Makes you wonder what's in the other end, really, doesn't it? No, and the other end is more standard. It's got one of these electronic microphones in it, which I don't particularly like because they can give hum and feedback in certain circumstances. but that shows it's a later model handset as is given away by that sort of pepper pot arrangement on there. But yeah, again, grey on the inside. But painted red, and the paint job is, well, it's not too bad, but it's not good enough really, is it? I mean, look at on the handset where, I don't know, it looks like something hot's been on it or something. It's really not very good at all. Now, I've got a load of spare handsets and a load of spare grey cases, so we're not proposing at this stage to restore this handset and case. What we're proposing to do is just swap them over. So that will probably be what happens to this, but let's just have a look inside it and see if everything is normal inside it. So I will get my suckery thing, because whenever I do this with sellotape, people say, "Oh, the GPO use suckers," and I say, "Well, have you got one?" No. Well, neither have I. That's why I use sellotape. So you can use sellotape to do this, or you can use what I'm using, which is a sucker off the Christmas fairy lights that held them to the window. And stick that on there, pull that off like that, and it pulls the opal straight off. So again, we'll take out the screw, and I'm seeing this is a flat back screw. Remember, you have to have a screw with a flat back if you've got a finger wheel with a flat centre to it. If your finger wheel's got a countersunk centre, you need a countersunk screw. Well, this is the right combination. Although it is recessed a bit in the centre there, the bottom of the hole is flat, not countersunk. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that is the correct combination there. So that's a good start. Again, we'll take off that same little clip, because it's a dial 21 again. It's just a more modern version of a dial 21. And I will now undo the screw in the back of the phone, and this is not wanting to, oh, it's undoing now. There we go. And it's lucky it's undone, because it is neither retained nor has it got the spring on it that it should have. But will we find the bits inside the phone, or are they not present at all? Hello. That didn't want to come off. Right. Looks like the bits are not present at all. Right. There is the case, proving it's grey on the inside. You even got overspray on the inside there. Don't know quite how they've managed it, or what they have. So there it is. I'll put that down somewhere, like so. And what have we got in here? Well, it's a fairly ordinary looking phone with a switch that's momentary cut off. Yeah, so it's not this has really not been messed with too much. This looks like it'll probably work actually, as is. Let's have a little look where everything goes. So blue is down there. So it's not been converted because no, hang on. Blue is, where's blue going? Blue is going there. Blue of the, too many blue wires about in this, that's a problem. Yeah, blue of the line cord is actually going up there onto T6, which is where it should go. Red and white are where they should be, and green is where it should be. So this phone is basically converted and should work. It's not got a resistor in it, but I don't know if the bell coils are 2000 ohms. Anyway, they could be, because judging by that, this could be an 8746. Now, stupidly, I've not actually looked underneath it, which is what I should have done, shouldn't I? So, is it an 8746? Ta-da! Yes, it is. 8746. So they will be 2000 ohm coils in it. So that will be totally fine for plugging in, and we should be able to use it. Right, what are folks up to in the chat? Dominic says about those Pi dials, he says, weren't they surplus German dials that Pi bought cheaply? I've got no idea, Dominic. I thought Pi made them, but I could be wrong. Penfold says that receiver looks like it's got a hearing aid loop in it. The yellow ring part. Right, it was this, wasn't it? Oh. It could be, yes. So, yeah. I never thought of that. So do you have to have a special hearing aid then? With like an induction coil in it to make this work? That is very interesting if that's the case. Very interesting. Has it got any numbers or anything on it? It says sort of, well, if, oh, you can't see it, can you, on the wrong camera? Hang on a minute. There you go, you can see it now. If you hold it that way up, it says 95 on the little sticker. If you hold it that way up, it says 56 on the little sticker, and I can't decide which way up it should be. But other than that sticker that says either 95 or 56 on it, I cannot see any other markings on this at all. Which is strange. They normally put some sort of marking on, don't they? But there is nothing at all. What there is that is in there as well. Where's that come from? Oh. And now where's it gone? There it is. That little bit of plastic, what does that do? because that was wedged down there. Oh, I wonder if it should be. Oh, yes, it fits on there like that. Like that. Cool. Well, that's an interesting thing, that. I've never seen one of those before, so yeah. So this grotty telephone was actually quite a good buy. It just goes to show you never know what treasures you might get on the grottiest looking phone. It's always worth taking things apart to see what's inside, because you never quite know what might be in there. It has also got these really horrible, very late dials, where basically they made as much as they could out of plastic. But having said that, they don't tend to seize up, these dials, so they're pretty good in that respect. So there. That is that. So that's interesting, isn't it? So it's got, I assume it's kind of some kind of inductive loop, that you've got part of it in the phone, and you have part of it in your hearing aid, and it helps you to hear in that way. I assume. I mean, I don't really know. I'm just guessing that is what you do. So I'm going to need to get another case out of stock. I mean, I've got loads, because this one is so grotty. The trouble is, I took most of them to the radio station at Pleasant Vale for storage there, and that certainly took the handsets there. So I have to remember to bring one back with me to fit to this phone. But shall we just stick it back together and see if it works? So that's on there now, and we've got the screw here, but no spring or anything, so I must remember not to put this in too tightly. And I think they must have deleted the spring and the retain nut on later ones, because it's always these later phones that don't have it. And the problem is, because of the way this is designed, the threaded bit on the screw that doesn't go all the way down, it can go right through the hole in the little metal bracket that you're screwing it into, and if it goes right through, then you can unscrew and unscrew all you like, and the threads never catch because there's no spring to sort of hold the screw out, and you can never get the case off again, at least not without a lot of jiggery pokery. So don't put them in too tight, otherwise you'll go right through the hole and then you'll never be able to get purchase on it again. Right, shall we try and plug it in? Let's see what happens. We have got a line cord already on it, a line cord that's covered in red paint as well. We will plug it in here on the desk, and we will see what happens. Right then, I've plugged that in now. That should be 20, I think. Try now, pick up my trusty phone here and dial it. Oh yeah, it works. Yeah, definitely works. Right, we'll do it the other way around. Just put the old finger wheel back on. Like so. 1001. Not bad. Right, we'll give it a go then, shall we? I'll pick it up and dial whatever it is, 21. Oh yeah, it works. Yeah. Yep. Yep, works both ways. Make sure it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, definitely wasn't a fluke. Sounds normal. I guess the inductive part of this doesn't actually have anything to do with the audio that you can hear normally, so just sounds like an ordinary telephone. So yeah, how cool. Stick the opal back on. So that's another good one. So that one doesn't really need anything doing to it other than new plastic shells for the handset and the body of the thing. Right, just put that down here then. So that's 2 down there. What else have we got? Oh, we've got all sorts, haven't we? Yeah. Oh, that black one is the one I fitted the body to the other week, isn't it? Because this was the body that came off it. Yeah, that black one. I fitted that case to it the other week because this was the case that came off. And it had got this push button and this light fitted to it. So yeah, I did that one the other. Now, I thought I'd done it the other week. I thought you'd seen it the other week. Why didn't somebody say so? I thought you'd seen it the other week. That one. Gambo says, I prefer the electronic mics compared to the carbon ones. So has someone tried to say it on Fleabay as a red one? It's more desirable than a grey one. No, I don't think so, Gambo. It came as part of a job lot of 3. And they were cheap, so they weren't trying to pass it off as a red one. I think it's probably been painted for use in a play, use in amateur dramatics on stage somewhere or something like that. I've had quite a few that have been painted up and used in stage production, stuff like that. Hanfeld says, how are you going to get the paint off the case? I'm not. I've got grey cases and grey handsets coming out of my ears. So basically I'm not going to go to the trouble of trying to get the case off that at this stage. I'm just going to swap the handset and the main body case over. So the grotty painted case will then go into storage. There are ways of getting paint off plastic. I remember from my railway modelling days there was a kind of stuff you could buy in a tub. It was almost like a kind of putty, and you smeared it on to whatever plastic item you wanted to get your enamel paint off of, put it all in a plastic bag and left it for a while, and then you took it out of the plastic bag and you could just rinse it all off and the paint was gone without damaging the plastic. Yeah, I did have a tub of that. It was like a wet putty kind of thing, and you sort of smeared it on with like a palette knife or stippled it on with a really stiff brush and put it in a plastic bag, sealed it up and left it for a while, and then took it out. I think it sort of left it overnight, something like that, and took it out, and all the paint just basically more or less fell off. Just give it a bit of a brush, with a relatively stiff brush, and run it under a cold water tap, and it came out really well. I can't remember what the stuff was called though, but I know it was sold for railway modelling purposes to get paint off. Penfold says, I just remembered Andy has the world's largest supply of cases. Yes. Only grey ones and ivory ones though, unfortunately. Not any coloured ones, but in this case it's a grey one that I need, so that's lucky, isn't it? Gambo says, so is there a better way to remove splashes of gloss paint off a case and handset? As I have a red case and handset, but it's had a roller near it in the past. Right, the way I do it, Gambo, and it's not a fast process, but it is good if you've just got little white splashes on it. Then I'm looking at the black phone on my desk here because that has got a few on it still, but it did have more. The way I do it is I take the plastic bits off and get a bowl of hot soapy water, you know, just ordinary like fairy liquid or whatever. Submerge your plastic parts in the fairy liquid and leave it for a while. Leave it for sort of half an hour. Then take it out, and often just with your thumbnail, with nothing more than your thumbnail, you should be able to sort of just scratch away at them, and they'll come off, and your thumbnail or your fingernail won't scratch the plastic. If you do it with a screwdriver or something like that, you run the risk of scratching the plastic, but your thumbnail won't scratch the plastic, and it will 9 times out of 10 get it off. The soapy water loosens it enough that you can normally just sort of ping the little spots off. If it is just a spot of like emulsion or gloss or something, you can often get it off that way. Most of the time. Now the other way to do it, of course, is to sand the whole case down and repolish it, but that's a lot of work. But this stuff would probably do it, this model railway stuff, if I could only remember the name of it. I mean, it's probably 30 years since I've used any of it, so you know, it's testing the old grey matter to remember what it's called. Penfold suggests a steam cleaner might get it off. It might loosen it, yeah. Dominic says T-cut or Goo Gone, maybe, Gambo. Is it emulsion paint? No, I think he said it's gloss, Dominic. Dominic says, what's the marking on the base, Andy? Right, on the base of the red phone. Well, the phone's been painted red. It is here. Right, so we've got all sorts of things. We've got the BT approved thing for when they sold stuff in shops. Supplied by British Telecom on there. BT rented on that side. And then we've got one of these standard red labels, Teller 8746G. And does the G mean something? 8746G. BT OC/CCF batch sampled FWR 83/1. is what we've got on the bottom of there. So, but 8746G, does that mean anything? The G. Good question. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting find, that one, isn't it? Gamo says, I tried in hot water to soften the paint, but no luck. I mean, you're not going to soften it majorly, Gambo. But you'll soften it enough. You're not soften it enough that you'll be able to just rub it off. But if you sort of piddle away at it with your thumbnail, you will be able to get little bits off. If you've got a big, if somebody sort of dabbed it with a paintbrush and you've got a big blob on it, it'll not do it. But if it's just the tiniest little speck, like somebody's been painting, you know, and you've got those little specks all over it like you often get, it will fetch those off normally. But if that doesn't do it, not sure then. Yeah, I'd try it again. Hot water, fairy liquid, fairly strong fairy liquid, and leave it in it. Leave it in it for half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and then try and see what happens. That's the way I normally do it, and it normally works. It's a fiddly, time-consuming process. You know, you can't just wipe it off. After that, you know, you do have to sort of still scratch away at it, but in general, it does work. Right. Okay. I think we've caught up on the chat. We're nearly caught up on the phones and that we've got down here. Right, so we've got one more phone out of this weird batch left to look at. That's this one up here with these strange connectors on it. And this is the one we've not yet touched. And again, you'll see it's got the button and the lamp on it. And coming out the back of it, it's got two very oddball connectors. It's got your normal curly cord there, you see. Then it's got two fairly thick cables coming out, and on the ends of the cables are these, one male and one female. And you're going to say these are XLRs, aren't you? But they're not. I mean, they do go together like XLRs, and they look very similar to an XLR cable, but they're not quite an XLR cable. If I get them under here, you see, you'll see that the male one has got a sort of hollow connector at what it should be the bottom. It should be like that, and the female one has got like a male bit at the bottom. It's a really oddball thing. I've never seen anything like these before. There is a name or something on them there. I don't know if you can read that. What does that say there? I can't even read it on this close-up camera. But yeah. Really not sure what these are, but anyway, RS 460187, so it's probably something from RS Components. But anyway, we are removing them. So I'm knocking everything around here now. Right, so this one is missing its opal, so take that off, and then blue tacked. That was blue tacked on top of this thing that says GWR on it again. And that in turn blue tacked onto the whole thing. Now for removing blue tack, WD-40, believe it or not, it dissolves blue tack, WD-40. Now this finger has got a big crack across it there. It doesn't seem to go through where the screw is though, so let's take this screw out. And this is an unusual looking screw because it's a brass one. It's flat backed, that screw. Is it a flat backed finger wheel or is it a countersunk? It's a flat backed one again, so that is probably the right screw for it, but a brass screw, very unusual in there, so there might be something a bit odd about this phone. So let us see. Let's turn it round again. Get these out of the way. Why is it not sitting very well? It's not sitting very well because it's missing a foot at the bottom there, look. So we need a foot for this one. Here's something interesting. It's got a carry handle, but it's got a metal carry handle. Now these were never used by the GPO, the metal ones. They're very, very rare. You normally see plastic ones, but I believe Ericsson used metal ones. So it says underneath to call, lift receiver and press button, but this it says TMA 72/4, I think, under here. So TMA. What manufacturer is TMA the code for? I'm wondering if it's Ericsson, because that's an Ericsson thing generally. Does anybody know what manufacturer TMA was? Who wants to look it up and tell us in the chat what manufacturer TMA is? Somebody will work it out. Gembo says, is 83 the last of the 8746 rotary phones? No, I think they went on beyond that, Gambo. I think they went to at least about 85-ish. Yeah, it's Temco. TEA was Temco, was it? Don't even know what Temco are. Who's Temco? Anyway, right. So I've undone the screws there. Take that off. And oh, yes, that now. Weirdness reigns supreme. Right. Telephone. $7p. Now we've got a diagram for it in here, but of course it's had all this extra weird wiring put in. So I really need to change the case on this to get rid of all this extra weird spaghetti wiring, but I don't really want to, because it's got a nice original label in there So this is going to be a tricky one to restore, but first thing we'll do with the restoration is get rid of all the extra stuff. I mean, down here, look, all coiled up down here. There's the connections for the dial, so the dial wouldn't have done much, would it? Because all the connections are just coiled up down there. So what we'll do is, first of all, we'll get rid of all these extra things which handily are sort of stripy cables, so you can see what they are. We'll get rid of all these, and yeah, this is very different in here. Yeah, really not sure what this is at all. But when I get rid of all this superfluous wiring that somebody's put in, now that is a wire into one of the cords there, as did that one. That's a superfluous bit of wire on there. Right, the case should be disconnected now. Right, take the case away a minute. So that's the case with its extra bits of wire, and you can see the rather unusual label in there as well. So we'll put that to one side a minute while we get rid of all the rest of the spaghetti in here. So that one's done now. That's done. Get rid of that one. And that's done. So that's the two extra cables now. These. That's now all out of the way. So yeah, done with that. Right, so now we've got a fighting chance of seeing what we've got. And the handset is wired weird on this, but is it wired weird because of how everything else was, or is it because it's a weird phone in general? Because it's a really oddball circuit board, because if you look at it, it's got a little coil there like on a 746, but it's not a 746 board. This is a 706 chassis, and it's got a monocoil bell in it, in what is effectively a 706 chassis. So let's just unhook those a minute, and we'll see where these go. Now green is not wired up, red and white are wired together, blue is on its own. So what's happening in the handset? So, you know, red and white are on the same terminal there. Blue is on the same terminal there from the handset. So what is inside this handset? Oh! And I'm going to have problems with this again, aren't I? Right, I've got a standard unit in there with red and green on it. Red and green. Well, that wouldn't have done anything because green wasn't wired up. So this end should have blue or white, and guess what? I'm having that thing where I can't get it apart again. Just a sec. Can you believe 2 weeks running we've got this problem? Oh, it won't come apart. Will not come apart, that. But let's assume that this should be wired in the normal way. So it should be red, green and blue on there, so should be red on there, green on the next one, blue on the next one, which at the moment is down here, and generally white should be down here on T10. So let's assume that is still the case. This is a very strange phone. Right, perhaps I can now have a little look at the wiring diagram in here. Yeah, we'll have a look at this, shall we? See if we can see what the diagram says. Right. Now I'm going to make this full screen for a minute, so I can read it too. Basically, so it has right, which one we've got to go with it. Here it is. Right, so what's it saying there? What's it saying there, right on the edge of that? L2 is at the top. Right. This is written in all kinds of different languages. I'm wondering if this is a Portuguese version of a 706. Because they did have 706s in Portugal. And I am wondering if this is one. Because it says telefono. But we're looking for the line. $18.70. Right. Where's the handset connected? T1. T2. It's not massively clear, is it? From that. Just having a look at that, it's not massively clear at all what's going on there. But is this a Portuguese phone? That is a very good question. It's kind of what they would have made if they carried on making 746s. Is it Portuguese? I've got no idea. What are people saying in the chat about it? Miguel says the bell coil looks different. Yeah, it's a monocoil bell. Handful says Mickey Mouse next year will be out of copyright. 95 years. I bet it's not. I bet you they've managed to renew that copyright somehow on Mickey Mouse. The Walt Disney Company is one of the most litigious organisations in the world. They will sue you if you have the wrong thing for breakfast. Yeah. An old saying in the world of film and television: don't mess with the mouse. They are not a nice firm to deal with. Yeah, it'll not come out of copyright, trust me. They'll do something there. Right. Okay, so that really didn't tell us much, but I'm now wondering if this is a Portuguese phone. So, definitely starting to think that's the case, because everything's a little bit different. Like, can you see this has got like a metal centre in there like a brass centre this brass screw went into. So everything is just that bit different about it. Yeah, I wonder. This is not normal, this. So out of this batch of phones, the one that I thought was the most interesting, which was that black one, actually it's turned out to be the least interesting one. Probably the nicest old original one, with the black finger wheel and everything, but the other two phones have both had weird quirks about them. So yes, but this is very, very odd. So we've got 7 and 8. We've got seven and 8 wired up to the bell. I've got no idea. No idea at all. Just found the other end of the handset thing there. Right, now make that full screen again so I can see it. T1 and T2. T3. Right, I'm just looking. I'm trying to hold this in a way that the camera can see it and the way that I can see it as well, which is not proving to be terribly easy. Hang on. Oh, I've got an idea. Let's move this camera up a bit so it's kind of looking at me. Then I can hold that in front of the camera and I can look underneath it, sort of thing. Right. So is that T10 on the far left hand side of the screen there? Does that say T10? Let's see if I can get it a bit more in focus. T10 and T11. So T10 has white, but the blue goes to T11. Now I have seen this happen before on a phone. So the blue from the cord, so it's red T1, green T2, white T10, but blue, look top left on the screen there, blue goes through the cord to T11. Definitely, according to that. So if I can get myself back on the right camera again now. So I've got this wrong then, I want now blue going to T11, and I have known this before. It's rare, but I have known this be wired like this before. It's a good job I've got that diagram. Right. So, now the question is, where on this diagram are the bells wired? No idea. Oh, is that the bells there? Right, that's the bell there, I think. Right, so if I do this again and hold it up. Right, hang on. Which camera are we on now? Hang on. Right, do that there. Now, hold it up there again. Somehow like that. And the bells there. Seems to be between T4 and T16, if I've understood that right. Right, which way am I going with this? Right, is that the bell there? AZ B between T4 and T16. But BT, it says, bells between 5 and 6. 2 to 5, then bell 3 to 6, then bell. So that's between 5 and 6, which is where they would normally be, sort of thing. This is quite tricky, this. If anybody wants to get a screen grab of that. Oh, extension bell. Between 5 and 6, I believe. Extension bell. between BT5 and BT6. Alright, hang on. Which is not the main things in here. BT5 and BT6 are actually in the box. Yeah, right, so, yeah. So, here we are then. So it's definitely got the bell there between 4 and 16, which I think is right, isn't it? 4 and 16, which I think is normal. So I can poke that down there again now, and we can do that. So the bells then go between 4, which is there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, which is there. So there's a bell. Right. I'm very tempted to go and get a line cord before we finish today and try this. Very, very tempted. Because otherwise you'll be wondering all week, won't you? Right, take that off, and I want to stick that in there. It doesn't fit. Oh, hang on, that's a smaller one. That's a smaller one. Does that one fit? No. Right, this tiny one then that I had hold of the other day and thought, what's that for? Does that fit? Yes. Ah. How bizarre. Right. Well, that's strange. Okay. Right then. Right. Now that's a bit on the weird side. These I don't think normally have anything in them, so I'm going to move that up there. So it is actually turning out to be almost like you would normally wire a 746, isn't it? Except for that blue of the handset being in a different place. But that's mighty odd. Right, the bell coil is 1,000 ohms, so it's the equivalent to 2,500 ohm coils, so it will want a resistor in it. Definitely will want a resistor in it. So let's have a look what we can find in my magical box of bits. No, not in that magical box of bits. And the last box of bits that I come to, usually the last one I come to. Right, so here's my magical box of bits. Resistors. One resistor. Right, and I've got some of these. Do any of these fit? Any of these things here? These, do any of these fit this phone? Right, let's get them all out on the desk here. Then we'll have a fighting chance of seeing. Right, there's a smaller one again. Big one. Big one. Big one. That's a smaller one. They're all big ones. It's a small one. Yes, we have got some small ones. Right. So not wanting to risk too much in the way of weirdness going on. I'm going to take that screw out of there because we don't normally use those ones down there. I'm going to put it up there. Because we normally have a link in there, so I'm going to put a link in there. That's one I'm never quite sure if it's absolutely necessary or not, that one, but we'll stick it in anyway, particularly in this one. So we'll stick a link in there. Could make it stay in. Right. We don't have one in there. One in there though. resistor goes in, the next bit I bent it that the wrong way. Normally I bend them that way. So I'm going to stick that. Somehow in there. I'll wind it round. That. The other leg of the resistor in there. These are 3.3 kilo ohm resistors, of course. That sits in there like that. Right, I reckon now if we wire up a line cord to that, it might work. What do you think? Do you think it'll work if we wire up a line cord before we go? What's everybody saying in the chat about this? I've not looked at the chat for ages. Everybody's as enthralled as I am by the looks of it. Dominic says, just missed a bit of the stream. Did Portugal make 700 series clones like Israel? I wouldn't swear to it, Dominic, but I'm thinking in my dim and distant past, I think I've seen a Portuguese one. In fact, I think I've got a Portuguese one somewhere in the collection. But it's one that came in ages and ages and ages ago. God knows where it is now. Be on the shelf somewhere. Yeah, it says, looks like it was made for export as there's several languages on it. Yeah, it's definitely a multilingual thing. Right, I'm going to put some things away, like these bits I've not used now, because I think I've got all the jumpers and things in that I need now. So I can now put those back in the back away, and I'm going to go and get a line cord for this and try it, because otherwise we'll all be wondering, won't we, if it has indeed worked or not. Another interesting thing here that I've got a mother-in-law handset for a British phone, but thing is I've not got the little metal hook that it goes onto. If anybody's got a hook that fits onto the phone to hook your mother-in-law receiver onto, let me know. Yes. Right. Okay. So that's that. That's in there now. Okay. Right, I'm going to disappear for just a second or two while we go and find a line cord. Just bear with me, just a moment. I'm going to get a line cord. Right, I'm back. I have returned. Cracky. And up the stairs and back. Line cord. Right. Looks good. Okay. Right. Can I do it without referring to the diagram? Can I remember where they all go? Blooming well hope so by now. Right, so we kind of want a red up there, don't we? On T8 we want a red. Put them in the other way up. Right. There's the red. White goes to 16, 17, 18, 19. I know, just stick it on. Um, 18. That blue's come off 16, hasn't it? So there's your white, and on there is your blue of your bell. And I know it's going a funny route, these bells things on this, but that is what they are. It's because they go into the end of the bell, not into the back of the bell, so they've routed them different. Right, red, white. Right, so blue of my cord now should go up here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, T6, I believe. And green 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. T15 for green. If this works, I will be absolutely gobsmacked. If we manage to get this weird phone working. Now the other thing, of course, is the dial isn't wired up at the moment. So we need to get these. Where do these normally go? Right. This is where I do need the diagram to help me. Just bear with me 1 second while I find the diagram. Right, so brown would normally go to T3, but I don't know on this. Blue would normally go to T2 and grey to T1, so grey to T1 or slate to T1, blue to T2, slate to T1, blue to T2. Slate T1. I'm going to have a little look at the thing again. Going to have a little look at this again and see what it says about the dial. Right. Pink. Blue, brown, right. I put in B is blue, BN is brown, PK is pink, S is slate, so it's slate to T1 definitely. Blue to T2, definitely. Brown goes around there. See whatever the hell that is there. I can't hold this the right way round. T11, no, brown goes to T11, pink goes to T10. So just hang on a minute now. Brown goes to T11, and pink goes to T10. Right, let's get this back in focus. Brown goes to T11, pink goes to T10. How's that for what we will normally have? Now brown, you see, normally goes to T3 with the blue, the handset cord, but it's going to 11 and pink's going to T10. So that brown that normally go up there with the blue of the handset cord, that's got to go instead to T11, which is kind of what I thought might be the case. So that goes on there with that. Very fiddly this, because on a British one the dial things are not generally spades, they're kind of fully round connector that the screw goes through the middle of, and you don't normally take them off, you only put them on first and don't take them off. Right, pink. When I find it, it's that one. Can get brown and pink mixed up quite easily. Pink goes to T10. I've got blue and orange. Now blue, there goes to T2, didn't I? I said blue goes to T2. And orange goes to T8, and that red is properly on T9 that I've put on T8. That's generally properly on T9. I don't see as it matters because they're joined together. But I will move it because it's easier just to have one on a terminal. So not orange now then. On to T8. Like so. And that red that I moved wants to go on to T9. Are we having bets on whether or not this is going to work? Just that one thing on the handset that throws you for a loop, because that goes to a different terminal. But now I reckon that should work. Tell you another thing about this, it's got nothing on it to hold the hook switch down for testing purposes. But let's plug it in and see. Crack, it's a super long show today. We've been on for 2 hours. Alright, oh, and I've just heard the handset click, so that sounds good. Right, oh, and I've got a dial tone on it. Right, so I'll hold the hook switch down and I will dial on my black phone. See if it rings. It does indeed. Right, let go of the hook switch to connect. Right. Is it working? Blow into the black one, listen on the grey one. Yeah, blow into the grey one, listen on the black one. Yeah, that's it. Oh, crikey. There's a heck of a lot of you can hear yourself in the handset a lot on that. I mean, you can always hear yourself a bit in the handset, but it's really, really loud on this one. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay, so it appears to work. So what we can do then is I'll unplug it for a minute and we will put it all back together. Now this one has got some proper spaghetti inside it because of where all these wires go, but I'm just going to sort of stuff them all up there for a minute. Now what the GPO people often do is twist them together, don't they? And I've never really thought that's probably a particularly good idea, but that's what they do, and they always move them over as well, so they always put handset on that side and line on that side. So there we have it. Right, for now we will put the original cover back on, but what I think I'm going to do is snip off these wires. Some handy pair of snips here, so because they're just getting in the way. So bye bye wires. So for now I'll just put this case with the light and the button back on. But I think we are going to try and keep this case because I'd probably never get this label off, and I do want to keep that label. So I think we're probably going to end up trying to restore this case. So that goes in there, like that, that goes on there, like that. And that's gone on surprisingly easily as well. Right. We will screw these down. Screw these up or whatever. Screw the case down, I think is the phrase for it. We will put the little clip back on. We will fit that back on, and this rather unusual brass screw that seems to be magnetic, this brass screw, so maybe it's not brass after all. Maybe it's brass plated or something. It's definitely magnetic because it just stuck to those magnets that I took out of that disk drive. So there we go. That is on. Right. So, plug in again. Now we'll see if we can dial out on it. So, plug that in there. Right, so 2, 0. Oh no, hang on, I want 2, 1. Because this is on 2, 0. 2, 1. Yep, seems to be working. Pick up that again. Yep. Yep, all working. Brilliant. So, we've got this, what at first sight looked like a fairly ordinary 706 that had been butchered about a bit, but it's turned out to be a much more interesting phone, and we have now got it fully working, so that's good, isn't it? Right, so that about wraps it up for another day here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll just go back to the chat before we go. Yes, you can't see the induction coil. Perhaps behind the dial. There is one, but it's a 746 type one, so it's only a tiny one. But yeah, it's set well back in the phone. Penfold says, the mother-in-law receiver hooks are like rocking horse poo for the 706 and 746. I'm still looking for one for my 714. Gambo says, I've got a Swedish phone that I haven't converted yet, that I received in a box of bits. I would send a pic of it, but I'm not sure I'm sending it to the right email address, as I've not had a reply back. Right, Gambo, I think I did reply to you, so see if it's gone in your spam or not. But the email that you're sending to, Gambo, is andy@callpress.net. So it's andy@callpress, spelled CALLPRESS.net. So just try sending something else, because I do remember replying to an email, but every now and again they don't get through for some strange reason. I think they go in people's spam boxes and stuff like that. Right, okie dokie, that is about it for today. Thanks very much to everybody for taking part once again. It's been an absolute monster of a show today. I didn't really think we got much to talk about today, to be honest with you. Next week, I promise you faithfully, we will have the footage from Wales of Andrew's amazing telephone collection. He's got some things that I've not got in that collection. It is absolutely incredible. Plus, we'll let you know how we're getting on with the stuff that came back with me from there as well, because I did come back with more than I went with. So we'll have an update from Wales, from the Amazing Andrews collection in Wales, next week. As I say, it should have been this week, but the video is even as I speak converting itself. Right, that is about it for now. Have a fantastic week ahead, everyone, and we will see you back here, all being well, same time, same place, next Sunday for another episode of Andy's Shed Live. I'm just going to see what's coming up in the chat. Gambo says, have a good in, see you all next week, take care. Cheers, Gambo. Thanks, everybody. We will indeed see you all next week with another Andy Shed Live next Sunday around about 6:30. But until then, ta-ra for now. Bye.